Hey, it's Bill DeWeese from VoiceOverRevolution.com with some weekly words of voiceover wisdom. And my words for this week are this: start low and test the ceiling. Start low and test the ceiling. This came up in a conversation the other day on a webinar I was doing with my DeWeese members group. And by the way, if you're not familiar with what that is, stay tuned. At the end of the video, I want to give you a special offer to take a trial of DeWeese members and see what it's like to be a part of this special group of people. But for now, let me talk about starting low and testing the ceiling. The question about rates came up, which so often does among voiceover talent. It's hotly debated and contested, and it's become quite the controversial issue. And if you've listened to very many of my videos, you know that your value as a voiceover talent is determined ultimately by the client. You're worth what somebody's willing to pay you for your services, which will and should increase over time as your ability develops as a voiceover talent. I mean, for instance, I make a lot more money now than I did 11 years ago when I started, which only makes sense. Most people, when they start a career, they may start, when you're 16 and out in the workforce, you may work at McDonald's because you're not qualified for the penthouse office suite corner as CEO of a major Fortune 500 company. It takes time to develop a career. So the question was, okay, so how do I know what to charge or what I'm worth? Well, always let the market tell you, and you can test that. And this is what I've done throughout my career. And so let me explain. When you're first becoming a voiceover talent, the way I started and the way that I would suggest that you start is at least use a form or version of this, and that is start off low. Now, for me, if it paid, I took it because in terms of the amount of pay, because I was, had been downsized from my job. I needed money to eat, to pay my mortgage, to take care of my family. So I wasn't overly choosy at that point. But what I did, I just didn't simply just take in work indiscriminately and with no plan for the future. There was a strategy involved, and I want to share that with you. So what I did is I took any work that people were willing to pay me for in terms, and again, I mean, if it was something I didn't feel good about doing from a moral or ethical standpoint, and those would come up very rarely, I wouldn't do those. But in terms of pay, yeah, I took pretty much anything. And so, but as I was doing that, I was always out looking for and auditioning for more work at a higher rate. So early on, I was doing a lot of local radio spots. I had a couple of clients that were actually only paying like $8 per commercial. But these are for small market, middle of nowhere radio stations where, people may be only paying a few bucks to run the commercial to begin with. So the value of those commercials, regardless of how good you are as a voice talent, wasn't worth a whole lot. But it allowed me, it was a skill that I had, I could do easily, it didn't take me much time, and I was able to generate cash flow. And I was able to get bigger jobs as well. But what happened is I continually tested the ceiling. I found that over time, clients were willing to pay me more and more and more. So, whereas maybe once I got $8, later I could get $50. And then I would get $100, $150 for a project. And then it would increase to $300, $400, $500, $600, and then getting projects that were worth multiples of thousands of dollars. And so if you were to look at a growth curve over the past 11 years, you would see my income steadily go upwards. And it continues to go upwards even today, because even today, what I continue, as a matter of fact, I just severed a relationship with a client today in a nice way, because I'm always looking at what can I get? What am I worth? So if a client's not paying me what I'm currently getting from other clients, I will very politely let them go as I continue to cultivate higher pay clients. And I continue and plan to continue to do that. So you don't have to feel bad about jumping in at a low rate, because that's where we all start. But always test the ceiling. Always be auditioning for and looking for jobs that pay more. And as you get those jobs, you'll continue to develop your skills, get better, have more demand for your services, and you can begin to systematically let go of the bottom end as you continually raise the top end. So again, my words of wisdom: start low, but always test the ceiling, and then systematically let go of the bottom as you graduate yourself up the pay scale. And that's how you build a career really of any sort. And it's certainly as applicable in voiceover as it is in any industry. Now, earlier I made mention of DeWeese members. DeWeese members it's a private group of people and we use Facebook primarily as our platform. We have a private group where we communicate, I do webinars with, I do special trainings for. But the coolest part of it is they actually monitor and watch me do my work every day in my studio. So when I'm not doing videos like this or coaching voiceover clients, I'm streaming live to that group. So they watch me do auditions. They watch me do projects. They watch my communication with clients. All of the stuff that I do voiceover related, DeWeese members get to watch and then discuss and comment on within that group and during our webinars that we have every other week. So I would love for you to check out DeWeese members. So I've got a special offer for you. It's a $1 trial. And for that $1, you're going to get 2 weeks in the membership group with all privileges that come with that. And so you can be a part of the discussions, the webinars. You can watch all of the stuff that I do on a day-to-day basis, because it's one thing to have somebody tell you what to do. It's another thing to actually watch it from somebody who does it for a living. So it adds another, I think, layer of training that is hard to get anyplace else. So I'll put a link in the description of the video, and I encourage you to sign up for the 2 weeks and check it out and see what you think. Hey, thanks for checking out the video. I look forward to seeing you in the DeWeese members group, and we'll talk to you soon.